Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're back out here in my garage, and I have a first impressions video and an upcoming projects video for you. I know in the past few videos we've been talking comments and some politics stuff, but let's get back into some guns. And I was able to go to the range tonight, and I literally just got back for the second time. I actually went to film a suppressor review, and as you can see, we have a suppressor out here on my NS-15 rifle, which is kind of like my test bed rifle. It has the Texas Gun Vault logo on it. It's my understanding that North Star Arms that made this is no longer making guns. They're no longer in business. That's what I've heard. But I reviewed one of their guns, and you guys can go back and see the story of this and how they sent this one to me after I reviewed one of their guns. And got to know some people there. But I've always used this now as like my test bed rifle here at the Texas Gun Vault because I kind of feel like it's a good analog for an average AR-15. It has a 16-inch barrel, uses a mil-spec lower, mil-spec upper. It's just kind of set up nice to test products. And so I've been doing some of my first dedicated suppressor reviews with this gun. The ones that I can either mount because this is going to be a direct thread suppressor, or I can change mounts on it. So let's talk about the suppressor that I reviewed today. And as you can see, it kind of has a funky end cap to it. And maybe you know what that end cap is. It's an OSS suppressor. So it's one of the Helix ones. The model is, and I've got to get this right. I've got to get this right because a lot of times suppressors just have numbers and letters as the models. This is the IFM5 Helix 5.56. And one of OSS's kind of big claims to fame is that they are a kind of a flow-through suppressor designed to reduce the back pressure. So you're not supposed to get as much gas coming back into the rear of the gun. It's supposed to eliminate some of that, but not all. And I believe you do lose a little bit of suppression on that. So one of the big things I like to test and talk about in my reviews is how much gas comes back. And also one of the things I like about this gun is I do run it with a mil-spec charging handle. You do have the PRI gas buster charging handles out there that kind of mitigate that gas, but I think most people that are going to own a suppressor, if you're an average gun guy on your average AR-15, you're probably gonna have a mil-spec charging handle that doesn't vent that gas away. So I do like to use this charging handle when I review suppressors. So let's take a look here at this suppressor, and I'll give you guys my impressions on it. And as I said, it is a flow-through suppressor, so the internals of this suppressor are, I mean, from what I can tell, they are just intricately milled out. And the can feels heavier than other suppressors because I think there's a lot more material in here. And I'm not really sure how the baffle design works. I believe it kind of spirals the gas instead of having like typical chambers, you know, with a baffle stack in it. I really got to go do some research and see what the design is like. And so let's talk about the suppression of this. On a 16-inch barrel, now granted, remember, I don't have the equipment to measure the actual decibel reduction. And as I say, or I'm going to say in all my suppressor reviews, I don't think that's always the best metric when it comes to reviewing a suppressor or deciding on which suppressor is best for you. It is a big part of it, but it's not everything. Now, I shoot these at an indoor range, and some things I have to give my qualitative opinion on. Some of them I can give quantitative data. So from a qualitative standpoint, I would definitely say the suppressor is hearing safe. It has a pretty good tone to it. I would put it in the lower end of the tone spectrum. And I would say that if you were going to shoot this outside without hearing protection, it would probably be a pretty soft sounding can. I had to use hearing protection because I'm on an indoor range, and I'm always never sure how much suppression I'm going to get out of these. So I just have to be a little bit safe. But I would say the can is definitely hearing safe. Good tone to it. Now, does it reduce the gases? Yes, it does, but it doesn't eliminate them. So one of the tests that I've decided to do in my suppressor reviews is after I kind of do my initial thoughts where I'll shoot like 10 rounds unsuppressed, 10 rounds suppressed, The next test I'll do is the gas back in my face test. Essentially, I'll shoot like 20 rounds at a moderate tempo and see what I experience. Now, I can't really give you quantitative data on that simply because there's no way to really measure the gas coming back. I've thought about different ways of doing it. I just can't figure out a way of doing it. But normally I can tell you if it's a really gassy gun, you kind of get the eyes watering, eyes burning a little bit. This one, when I shot those 20 rounds, barely anything. So I would say that this baffle design or this suppressor design definitely does mitigate the gas. So it does what it says it does. However, at the end, where I wanted to test how much heat kind of builds up in this can, I did like a mag dump at the very end. And when I shot this really fast, I got the gas back in my face. It wasn't like overwhelming, but it definitely made my eyes water and my eyes burn a little bit. So if you shoot really fast, so if you're shooting like, really fast competition, or you're shooting this on a machine gun, you're not going to feel as much of the effects. But at moderate tempos, it really does work well. Now, talking about the heat of this, as compared to the other suppressors I've reviewed so far, and my experiences with them, when I used the heat thermometer or the laser thermometer on this, it got up to only about 300 degrees, which is actually pretty good. It doesn't get too hot after all that shooting, and I think some of that has to do because this can is kind of like this outer shell to it. As you can see, it kind of has this sleeve, and I think that for a while, when you're first shooting it, keeps the heat a little bit more internal. However, when I got it back here to the garage, this thing was warm for a long period of time. In fact, it's been probably about an hour since I was at the range, and I can still feel just a little bit of residual heat in this. This thing stays hot, and I think it has to do with the baffle design of this, because there's so much material in here and so much surface area in all those little crevices that they've milled out for the the spiraling of the gas. I think it does not dissipate heat like other suppressors. So it doesn't seem to get as hot, but it holds the heat in for a longer period of time. Now, when it comes to the ballistics of this suppressor, it doesn't seem to change the velocities at all. I got out the chronograph, the Garmin Zero chronograph, which, by the way, I had to go to the range twice tonight because I went there and I filmed everything. It was a great experience. And I get home and I'm unpacking the car and getting this out and going to make this video. And I realized, oh crap, I forgot to record the chronograph data unsuppressed. I did it suppressed and I didn't record it unsuppressed, so to compare. So I had to load everything back in the car, go to the range, spend 15, 20 minutes. Luckily, I have 24-hour biometric access to the Frisco Gun Club, and nobody was there, so I was able to go back and film that one thing I had to. I think I may have to in the future make like a checklist to make sure I film everything. And I was like, oh gosh, I forgot to film that, so I had to go back and do it. But I got all the data. And when I compare the data from the unsuppressed to the suppressed version of this rifle, it was pretty much the same. Now, the other suppressor I've reviewed so far, there was a deviation, okay? Not huge, but enough to notice. This one, I think the average was only like 5 feet per second difference over 10 shots. Like, it didn't change the velocity at all, which is something suppressors typically do. And maybe it has to do with that, low flow design or that low back pressure design. It does not seem to change the ballistics, and the point of impact on the target is a little bit different. It does shoot. This gun seems to shoot low suppressed, and with this one, it's only a little bit lower. It definitely changes the point of impact just a little bit, but not really enough to notice. I guess maybe if you're at 100 yards or further, you would notice, but at the 25-yard range where I was just testing this out, barely noticeable. But there is a little bit of a difference. So really interesting can to review. And I'll have to go just do some more research on this design to make sure I give all of the right information. So the OSS Helix 556, the M5 is the model. So, got a bug that just went in my eye. Man, I tell you, I get bugs and like mosquitoes out here all the time, and it's only when I'm filming do they bother me. Man, he just flew in my eye. Jeez. Okay, so let's talk about an upcoming project. Now, I was able to see my friend Matt today, who had lent a bunch of like AKs to the channel. I got all of his stuff back to him. He also let me borrow that little, what is it, the Jennings 25? Anyway, he had a revolver for me. Now, this is a firearm that I tried to review in the past. In fact, he lent it to me. But unfortunately, after taking it to the range, there was a problem with the cylinder because I can't remember again if it was, I don't think it would close. Or maybe it would not open. It was something with the cylinder. It's been a long time, like a really long time. But he sent this off to Colt. He got it back, and I guess the problem is fixed. But this is a big boy. Of course, I just want to check that it is unloaded. We have the Anaconda. Yeah, the Colt Anaconda. And this is one of the new ones, I think. Yeah, it's one of the new ones. It has that little QR code or whatever it is on the side. So, yeah, this is the Colt Anaconda in 44 Magnum. Has the big long barrel. So I think if you're going to get a 44 Magnum, you got to get it in something like this. I was talking to Matt, and he said that the new Anacondas seem to be better built than the old ones, because I guess the old ones were not really like hand fit that well, but the more modern ones are made to the same tolerances as the new Pythons. So we'll have to see. This is actually the last of the snake revolvers that I have yet to review. I've done the Diamondback, I've done the Cobra. I don't know if I've done a King Cobra, but I've done a Cobra. I've done a Python, and now I'm going to do the Anaconda. And maybe there's one else I haven't done. But anyway, I got that. So that's going to be really cool. Stainless steel, what an awesome look. That is a beautiful gun, beautiful design. And Matt was also really kind to give the channel some ammunition. So he gave me a couple boxes of 44, so I have 44 Special and 44 Magnum, which is awesome because I need to use both. And I think I also have a little bit of both ammos or calibers in the ammo safe as well. So I should have enough for the review, and I'll be taking that to the range pretty soon as well. So that is the upcoming projects and initial thoughts and impressions kind of video, or first range impressions, or whatever I want to call it, of the OSS Helix. Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to ask, okay? And this is something I need to ask for my local fans and subscribers and the people that lend guns to the channel. I have an opportunity to review some 7.62 suppressors. And I need... I think I want to do it on a bolt action 308. But I don't have a bolt action 308. So I need to know if any of my people that lend guns to the channel that see this video have a bolt action 308 that they would let me borrow for that review. I wouldn't be reviewing the gun, just the platform. I do have an AR-10 that I can use, but I kind of feel like the 7.62 size, suppressors for like 308 and the like, I think people are going to want data on a bolt gun, because I think most people are going to use that on like a hunting rifle. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So if anybody that you guys know lends guns to the channel, lends guns to the past, has a bolt action 308 that has a threaded barrel that I could mount a suppressor to, let me know, and I might need to borrow it if you'd let me, because I think that would be a better platform than an AR-10. I might do the AR-10 and the bolt gun, but we'll just have to see. So anyway, let me know about that, and I hate to put out the call on that, but I have an opportunity with these 308 suppressors that I want to do some good reviews on them. And as I said, I think most people in that caliber would prefer a bolt gun over a semi-auto. That's what I think. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comment section. So I can kind of adjust and kind of map out how I'm going to do those reviews. So that's it for tonight. Let me know what you guys think. And if you watch to the end, the word of the day is Helix. Helix, because that's the model here of this suppressor. That's kind of a cool word, Helix. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thanks for joining me here in the garage. And as always, thanks for watching.